Love is an action word. So one of the things, you can tell me you love me, but if you treat me differently, that is not love.
There were so many red flags. Red flags I chose to ignore. You know, I didn't overlook them. I just ignored them.
A healthy relationship looks like having my own independence and my own voice.
My early ideas about healthy relationships were non-existent, very distorted. Raised by a single mom who had alcohol and mental health issues. And so to me, love was kind of emotional blackmail. You know, you love her, but she treats you bad. So I didn't really have a really good concept of love. It felt like weakness. It didn't feel safe.
I guess like any other little girl, you know, that I was this princess, and that I was going to find my prince, and he was going to whip me off my feet, and we were going to have this wonderful castle and a couple of kids, and I didn't have to work, right? And all the little things that little girls dream of, right? I know when you was a little girl, you think that life is so good, you know, but as you grow up, you find out it's different.
When I was starting to date, when I was starting to date, I was so lost, you know, so very lost. I seroconverted while I was in a relationship, did not know it, and almost a year after that happened, I was single. And that's when I went through that 3-month process, you know, by myself, and just thinking that I would never date again. I just knew that my life was over. Had learned my diagnosis, gotten into treatment, been undetectable for a few years. And this guy comes along. I had to share my diagnosis with him. So I put myself in like a pretty dangerous spot, you know, not knowing what his reaction would be. He was okay with the fact that I was trans, but I didn't know how he would react to finding out that I was living with HIV.
First, I tried to avoid him, then I told him, and he tested negative. And what happened for me was so interesting. Before I tested positive and he tested negative, I was this sexy woman. After he tested negative, the Christian in him came out, and God spared him because his mission was to work with me, the sinner woman. So I went from this sexy woman to a project, and it crushed me. You know, like, oh my God, I've lost my womanhood, and I really proceeded not to talk with him anymore, but it was devastating.
I was in a relationship when I first was diagnosed in 1996, and the person I was in a relationship happened to be my abuser. You know, used to tell me that, you know, no one's going to love you like I'm going to love you. No one's going to want you because of your status. And I believed all those things that he said. Because of myself, I had like low self-esteem. You know, when I got that diagnosis, I thought my world was going to crumble. And I wanted to be loved, you know, and here was this person that was willing to say that he loved me unconditionally, but there were some things attached to that.
I met my daughter's father when I was 13 or something, and he was abusive, and I stayed with him till I was 28. The first time I was hit at 17 was a sign, and it came out of the blue, and I did not go. We both used drugs together, and when I got about 27, I decided to get sober. And even though I wanted to be with him because I didn't know any other way, it wasn't good. It was just familiar. I realized one night to stay with him meant I had to stay in a world of drugs and alcohol because he was still using. And that was kind of the final straw. I did not want to live like that anymore. I wanted to show my daughter something different. And I called AA, I'm sure, and said I needed help. And I began to go to 12-step meetings. It took a long time to finally allow myself to be vulnerable with these people and let them help me. And they showed me what love was. They showed me love was power. They showed me that surrender was not weakness. And eventually supported me through going back to school, raising my daughter, and everything. I just didn't know how much help I really needed at the time.
I can't count how many times I said, okay, let's give him a second chance. And I went back. But there was one last time where I decided to leave, and my abuser sent me to jail for leaving. So what I did while I was there is I connected myself to some other women in a support group of women that were there who were suffering from intimate partner violence just like me, and came strong. My abuser visited me in jail. If you come back home with me, I'll drop the charges. By then, I didn't got all the support. I was really strong, and I was like, no, God got me. And I kept telling myself that God got me, right? And I didn't go back. And a week later, they told me because he didn't show up in any of the courts hearings, they dropped the charges. It wasn't the way I wanted to get out, but I got out. And I got out with my life.
The lying, what are you doing? Why are you not working? And why are you angry? Why are you angry at me? This is, mental abuse. This is verbal abuse. And they got physical. You're not welcome here. And I cried as I said it. But I said it enough until I meant it. To leave that relationship, my strength came from the fact that he wasn't there.
I didn't know at the time that no one else could heal what was hurt, what was wrong. Yoga led me back to the light. It was the beginning of the shift from darkness. But in the beginning, it was that the breathing, the breath is everything. And I began to visualize who I wanted to be. I began to think I can be healthy. And my T cells doubled. Everything changed.
I didn't tell my story about my intimate partner violence relationship for years. The support and strength that supported me to heal through that process was family. My son was still alive at that time. His door was always open. Connect myself to PWN. A healthy relationship looks like having my own independence and my own voice. Mutual respect. Absolutely trust. Mutual respect, communication. Some of these are not things I do well.
I don't want that across the room type thing, because that's like pheromones, that's chemical reactions, but I want something that's genuine. I want someone who is genuinely concerned about my well-being, someone who's going to be like, hey, did you eat breakfast this morning? Have you eaten? Not like, where are you? What are you doing? Not that, but someone who's genuinely concerned about my health and well-being.
You're not alone. There's support and people just like you and women just like you. I'm one of them. I'm a woman living with HIV. And I'm not just a woman living with HIV. I'm a woman living and thriving with HIV.
I really relate to Dylan feeling scared, feeling angry, not wanting to live, being HIV positive. Everybody isn't ready to just be happy. Yeah, and we need to be there and just let them. And when you're ready, we got you.